Black Mirror, Bandersnatch analysis. The term Bandersnatch originates from a fictional creature created by Lewis Carroll, which appears in his 1870s poems Jabberwocky and the Hunting of the Snark. The film makes several allusions to Carroll's works. Part of Butler's motivation is to find his stuffed rabbit toy, which leads him to discover deeper secrets, comparable to Alice's quest to find the white rabbit in Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. Rittman and his girlfriend Kitty lead Butler into a psychedelic experience in their flat, correlating to the Mad Hatter's Tea Party from the same story, with Kitty's appearance even similar to that of the Hatter. At one point, Butler travels through a mirror, or literally following the action suggested by the title of Carroll's Through the Looking Glass. The design of the packs is similar to the original Peter Newell drawing of the Bandersnatch. The Bandersnatch term also relates to Bandersnatch, a planned video game by Imagine Software. One of several expensive megagames which Imagine Software worked on, Bandersnatch was never released as the company went bankrupt in 1984. Imagine's closure was widely publicized as the events leading to it occurred at the time the BBC were featuring the company in its 1984 Commercial Breaks documentary series, and had cascading effects on the video game development industry in the United Kingdom. As an allusion, the film opens on July 9, 1984, the day Imagine was closed, and the cover of Crash with this news is featured in the film. The video game was mentioned in an Easter egg in Series 3 episode playtest, on the front cover of a magazine which is briefly shown on screen. Additionally, the story shares elements of the works of Philip K. Dick, who frequently wrote on alternate realities and timelines. The Davis character is an allusion to Dick, who had frequently used recreational drugs throughout his life, and at one point attempted to kill his wife. Dick's work Cubic is visually referenced in the film. Brooker also compares the story to the 1993 comedy fantasy Groundhog Day, about a character who relives the same day repeatedly. Some have also compared Davis to writer William S. Burroughs, a similar tortured artist who did kill his second wife. The film is a work of postmodernism, containing meta-commentary and utilizing free will as a central theme. Ed Cumming of The Independent commented that it contains themes of authorial control, free will and fate. Beth Elderkin of IO9 wrote that Bandersnatch is about the absence of choice, and Stefan's life being outside of his control. Elderkin highlighted the White Rabbit ending, in which Stefan finds his rabbit under his bed as a child and joins his mother in dying on the train, as the one point where free will is celebrated instead of derided. These themes of lack of free will, monitoring, and control, as well as the 1984 setting, led to comparisons to George Orwell's novel, 1984. Bandersnatch has elements of comedy, horror, pathos, science fiction and a 1980s period piece. David Griffin of IGN compares it to the adventure video game series The Walking Dead, whose first installment was released in 2012, and the 2018 adventure game Detroit, Become Human. Carl Quinn of the Sydney Morning Herald compares the work to Mosaic, a 2017 murder mystery released by HBO as an interactive app. Keith Spencer of Salon noted that Bandersnatch uses self-reference, metatext and an unreliable narrator in the same way as postmodernist literature and works of the 1960s and beyond. Spencer also makes comparisons to early Internet-era hypertext fiction and the previous Netflix interactive work Puss in Book, which has a broadly similar plot of a character being driven mad by the knowledge that they are controlled by an external force. Stuart Heritage of The Guardian wrote that Brooker has popularized a new form of storytelling, then identified its tropes and dismantled them one by one. At one point, Tucker mentions that Butler's game has no need to type in get lamp, which is the first necessary command that the player must use in the first text adventure game, Colossal Cave Adventure, and the title of a documentary about the onset of interactive fiction. Easter eggs. Like previous episodes, Bandersnatch makes several allusions to previous Black Mirror episodes. The branching path symbol which Davis and later Butler experience is equivalent in a digital version to the symbol used in White Bear. One of Tuckersoft's successful games is Metalhead, a reference to Metalhead, also directed by Slade, while Rittman is shown to be working on a game called Nosed, referencing the episode Nosedive. Butler attends counseling at the St. Juniper Clinic, named for San Junipero, while Tuckersoft alludes to the San Junipero Company TCKR. References to events associated with other Black Mirror episodes can be seen in news stories shown in brief shots of the pages of the Sun newspaper and on a television news crawl. Such episodes include the national anthem, Be Right Back, 15 Million Merits, The Waldo Moment, Hated in the Nation, USS Callister, Crocodile, and Hang the DJ. Some journalists noted that R. Haynes may allude to Rollo Haynes, the proprietor of the titular showcase in Black Museum. Brooker, Slade and production Russell McLean discussed whether there was deeper meaning in the Easter eggs. Slade was reluctant to include the Meatlehead game, saying I didn't really see the need for it, but that's just me. Slade commented that Tuckersoft could later have become TCKR, a company in San Junipero, and thought that Metalhead was an event in the future rather than a simulation. McLean said that stories are developed in isolation, rather than by asking how do we fit the story into this universe? Brooker saw the Easter eggs as a nice nod to superfans which should not affect the creative process or force viewers to watch the stories in a particular order. Brooker has suggested that the character of Colin Rittman could potentially show up in future Black Mirror stories, given that the character, in certain paths, seems to just disappear but has awareness of alternate timelines and realities. In one ending, the sound of a computer data tape recording is heard. Loading the sound into a ZX Spectrum provides the viewer with a QR code with the white bear glyph in the middle that leads to the fictional Tuckersoft website, where a playable copy of the ZX Spectrum game Nosed can be downloaded.